Most people imagine Buddhism as a religion of quiet temples, gentle monks, meditation, and inner peace. But behind that peaceful image is a darker world, one filled with burning rivers, forests of razor-sharp leaves, frozen bodies splitting open, and judges deciding the fate of the dead. These are not scenes from medieval Christian literature or a horror film. They come from Buddhist traditions where hell is described in unforgettable detail. The Buddhist hell realms are known as Naraka. They may seem out of place in a faith associated with mindfulness and compassion, yet they have shaped Buddhist teaching for centuries. Buddhist traditions developed remarkably elaborate visions of the afterlife. One early description appears in the Devaduta Sutta, a text preserved in the Pali Canon. In it, the Buddha tells of a wicked man taken after death before Yama, ruler and judge of the underworld. Yama asks whether the man noticed the divine messengers during his lifetime, a newborn child, an elderly person, someone suffering from illness, and a dead body. These sights warned that life is temporary and everyone faces aging, sickness, death, and rebirth. The man admits he saw these signs but never reflected on them. He lived carelessly, ignored the consequences of his actions, and made no effort to change. He is therefore sent into hell, where he experiences horrifying punishments. He runs through a forest whose leaves cut through his hands and feet. He is forced into boiling liquid. Molten metal is poured into his mouth. His body is destroyed again and again, only to be restored so the suffering can continue. Yet Buddhist hell is not exactly the same as the eternal hell imagined in many other religions. Naraka is usually understood as temporary, even when the punishment lasts for an unimaginable length of time. In Buddhism, hell is one of several possible realms of rebirth. A being enters it because of harmful actions, cruelty, greed, dishonesty, or other destructive behavior. Once the karmic consequences have been experienced, that being can be reborn elsewhere. Hell is not a final destination. It is part of the continuing cycle of death and rebirth, known as samsara. Some texts present Yama not merely as a punisher, but as a stern teacher who forces the dead to confront choices they refuse to examine while alive. That does not mean Buddhists view hell casually. Across Asia, temples, caves, paintings, sculptures, and public displays have been created to show what may await those who live immorally. They are meant to frighten visitors into repentance, generosity, and better behavior. In Vietnam's Marble Mountains, the Am Phu Cave leads visitors through a dramatic underground representation of the afterlife. Life-sized figures show beings being judged and punished, while shrines allow visitors to confess wrongdoing. The journey then leads upward toward light, turning the cave into a passage from suffering to hope. Thailand has temple gardens filled with graphic statues of punishment, while Japan's Senkoji Temple uses illuminated displays to make visitors consider their conduct. Singapore's Haw Par Villa presents the 10 courts of hell, matching punishments with moral offenses. Their message is direct: every action has consequences, even when nobody sees it. Buddhist literature expands these ideas further. Some cosmological texts describe 8 hot hells and 8 cold hells, along with many smaller realms. In one frozen hell, the cold becomes so severe that blisters spread across the body, freeze, and burst, making the skin resemble blue lotus flowers. In the Black Line Hell, marks appear across a person's body, and tormentors cut along them. The body then reforms, and the punishment begins again. These images were not identical from one country to another. As Buddhism moved across India, China, Tibet, Japan, Thailand, Vietnam, and other regions, local cultures added their own stories, rituals, and artistic traditions. Hell became a flexible religious language through which communities explained justice, family duty, death, and moral responsibility. One of the best examples is the Chinese Ghost Festival, celebrated on the 15th day of the 7th lunar month. Buddhist temples receive donations, and monks perform ceremonies intended to ease the suffering of ancestors believed to be trapped in painful realms. The festival is closely connected with the story of Mulian, based on the Buddha's disciple, Moggalliyana. According to the legend, Mulian gains spiritual powers through meditation and uses them to search for his dead mother. He discovers that she has been reborn in a realm of suffering because of selfish and dishonest actions, including taking offerings intended for monks. Although she is being punished for her karma, Mulian refuses to abandon her. He travels through the underworld, witnesses its horrors, and asks the Buddha how she can be saved. The Buddha teaches that the combined merit of offerings made to the monastic community can help suffering relatives. This becomes the foundation for rituals in which families give food and donations on behalf of the dead. The story became especially powerful in China because it joined Buddhist teachings with the Confucian value of filial piety. Buddhist monks traditionally leave home and loosen family attachments, but Chinese society placed enormous importance on devotion to parents and ancestors. Mulian's determination to rescue his mother allowed Buddhism to speak directly to those values. He became both an ideal monk and an ideal son. Similar journeys through hell appear elsewhere. In Thailand, the monk Phra Malai travels to the underworld through meditative power. He observes the consequences of karma and returns with warnings for the living. Stories of his journey were illustrated in manuscripts, painted on temple walls, and recited during ceremonies. Another important figure is Kṣitigarbha, the bodhisattva associated with beings suffering in hell. In one tradition, he begins as a devoted daughter who learns that her mother has fallen into a painful rebirth. Moved by her mother's fate and the suffering of countless others, she vows to help all beings trapped in hell. Kṣitigarbha becomes a powerful symbol of compassion that refuses to turn away even from the darkest places. Tibetan traditions also preserve stories of people who die, travel through the afterlife, and return to warn others. These individuals are sometimes known as D-logs, meaning those who have died and come back. Their accounts describe encounters with Yama, visions of karmic judgment, and messages from the dead. Versions of the tradition have continued into modern times. Not every Buddhist interprets these realms in the same way. Some understand them as literal places of rebirth. Others see them as mental states or symbolic descriptions of suffering created by hatred, addiction, guilt, violence, and uncontrolled desire. A person consumed by rage or fear may already be living in a kind of hell before death. Both interpretations reveal something important. Buddhism is far more diverse than the simplified version often presented in popular Western culture. Perhaps that is the real meaning behind these frightening stories. They ask the living to examine their actions before it is too late. Buddhist hell may be temporary, but its message is immediate, no action is truly lost, and the life we create tomorrow begins with the choices we make today. Do you think Buddhist hell is real or symbolic? Share your thoughts below. Like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more fascinating stories.